Many know that you don't develop solid memory until you're about 3 or 4 years old. And many people have mundane things as their first memory. Even I do. First memory is when my crib was getting changed out for a big girl bed. And I was afraid of I was afraid of change, or wasn't happy that they were taking my bed away. I was scared. I was like, where am I going to sleep? Because I didn't understand they were replacing it. So I remember my older brother comforting me, acting like he was a superhero, and kind of saying something. I don't remember it fully. Again, it's my first memory, so it's not as clear. But what is my second. I vividly remember a nightmare, and it still haunts me. I had fallen asleep in the car on the way to a daycare, so I was put in one of the cribs there to finish my nap. The dream was like white noise on a TV, and it had this corrosive Acerbook sound. And then my mother had walked across the visible screen to the center. She then turned to face me, and then it slowly zoomed up closer and closer to her face. She had a cold, fearsome, yet blank expression. All I know is it made me extremely uncomfortable and fearful. As it zoomed closer, that horrible noise, which got louder. Once it got to be about the shoulders and face view of her, I awoke crying, of course. But I remember that my mom, brother, and the daycare worker were the only other people there. And they were all in the kind of play area with me far off in the back. In fact, they had a row of cribs, and I was second or third from the far wall. And that the lights were off where I was. In fact, the only place that the lights were on was exactly where my brother, mother, and the daycare worker were sitting. I felt like we were there after hours, and that we shouldn't have been there. We were there when we shouldn't have been. I remember them giving me yogurt, but they never turned the lights on, which is why they just kept the lights off like that, except for that one ceiling light over the play area. I remember they gave me a snack of yogurt, and my brother was upset because I was eating something that he couldn't, because apparently he'd eaten it already. Now, when I talked to my brother about this, when I was a childhood, and when we were children, older children, like 8, he says we were at preschool, and I thought it was preschool too, but preschool doesn't have cribs, so that's where I think it's a daycare, possibly. I'm not sure though, again, because I was 3. And the thing is that every time that dream is vividly imprinted in my mind, and one time something made a noise that was similar to the one in the nightmare, and it scared me more than anything else ever has. But the weirdest part about this whole memory is that when I was a teenager, I remember we were talking about this, not this particular memory, but just the topic in general, daycares and whatnot, in preschools, and I remember saying that we had gone because that memory was so vivid to me. And my mom said we never went to a daycare or a preschool. She was a stay-at-home mom until I was 6 years old, so she had no reason to keep us somewhere like that. Yet, this memory is the strongest one I have of my entire childhood.
Everything's going to be okay now. You just have to